Today, we're diving into something really special, the Seeker's Journey. We're going to explore some profound spiritual insights from Sri Anish. We'll look at those little signals that might be kicking off your journey, the tools you need to find your way, and, well, the incredible realization that could be waiting for you at the end of the path.
So let me start with a question for you. Have you ever had that feeling, that little nudge, or a coincidence that's just a bit too perfect? Well, according to our source material, a spiritual journey rarely starts with a big dramatic announcement. It's more like a quiet, persistent knock on the door of your awareness.
And these are what Sri Anish calls cosmic knocks. And it's usually not just one thing, right? It's a whole collection of subtle shifts. Maybe you find yourself waking up consistently in the middle of the night, or you start seeing repeating numbers everywhere, like 1111. Maybe you suddenly lose interest in the constant barrage of news or heavy foods. These little things, they're not random. They're signals. It's the universe telling you that a deeper part of you is ready to wake up. And the choice is always yours. Are you going to answer that knock, or just roll over and go back to sleep?
Okay, so once you start noticing these signs, the journey really turns inward. This next part is all about learning to tune your own internal instruments. It's about learning to navigate not with some external map, but with your very own inner compass.
And to do that, you've got to cultivate two absolutely essential inner powers. First up is Vivek Shakti, which is the power of discrimination. Now, this isn't about being judgmental. It's about having this deep, unshakable inner knowing of what your true path is, no matter what anyone else thinks. But knowing isn't enough, is it? That's where the second power, Isha Shakti, comes in. This is the power of will. It's the engine that actually turns what you know into what you do.
And this quote just nails it. It's such a simple but brilliant analogy. We all know a morning walk is good for us, but how many of us actually get up and do it? That gap, the space between knowing what's right and actually doing it, that's filled by the power of will. It's the muscle that puts all your inner wisdom into motion.
So where does that inner knowing even come from? Well, according to the source, it's not actually a thought from your mind. It's a signal that comes from your heart center, the Anahata chakra. And you can only hear it when the constant traffic of thoughts in your head finally quiets down. You know that chatter? When it finally clears, even for a moment, that's when a much deeper message can actually get through.
So listening to that inner compass is the critical first step. But, for any long journey, you also need a reliable map. You need a structure. And for that, the source gives us this amazing 5-part framework, a set of pillars for building a really strong and sustainable spiritual practice.
And these 5 pillars, they basically form a complete support system for your journey. You have Ishta, which is your own personal connection to the divine, whatever that means to you. Then there's the Guru, a teacher to provide guidance. Sadhana is your daily practice, the thing you do consistently. Sangha is your community, the people who walk the path with you. And finally, there's Seva, or selfless service, which purifies your actions because it shifts your focus from what's in it for me to how can I help? It's a beautiful foundation.
All right, this brings us to what might be the most profound part of this whole journey. According to Sri Anish, pretty much all spiritual paths, no matter how different they seem, eventually lead to one great gate, one great confrontation, our relationship with mortality itself.
Now that is a wild statement, right? But he's not talking about a physical death. He's talking about the death of the fear of death. It's about having such a deep, direct experience of your own consciousness that the fear of just not existing, it just falls away. And only then, he suggests, can you actually truly begin to live. I mean, think about it for a second. Why do we work so hard to build empires or seek fame or just accumulate stuff? The source argues that if you trace all those desires way, way back to their root, what you'll find is this deep, often subconscious fear of being forgotten, of just ceasing to exist. It's like this hidden engine driving so much of what we do without us even realizing it. So just sit with that question for a moment. What would it actually mean to be free from that fear? If that deep-seated anxiety was just gone, what would motivate your choices then? What would you do with your life if you weren't constantly trying to build a fortress against the inevitable?
And this is the massive transformation that can happen. Your whole life shifts from this desperate attempt to secure your own little existence to a joyful expression of it. You move from a life based on fear to a life of fearless contribution. Your actions stop being about getting something, approval, security, a legacy, and they just become a pure, authentic gift to the world.
Now, this inner journey of transformation,
It can also start to open up your perceptions to realities that are, well, quite literally out of this world. The Source touches on these mystical realms that exist way beyond our normal day-to-day understanding.
We're talking about places like Shambhala or Gangunja. Now, these aren't physical cities you can find on a map. They're described more like fields of consciousness, or different dimensions that operate totally beyond our rules of time and space. They're said to be inhabited by these highly advanced beings who help protect and guide humanity. And you don't get there with a plane ticket, you access them through an evolution of your own consciousness.
And that really brings us all the way back to the heart of it, doesn't it? The whole journey, from hearing that first little cosmic knock to maybe even glimpsing other realities, it's all about liberating your own potential. It's about freeing yourself from fear so you can finally give your unique, amazing gifts to the world. So, I'll leave you with that to think about. If you were truly, completely fearless, what would your contribution be?